fuselage. Let's go this way. See this? Alright, your main fuselage. Alright, here we are. We're looking at the main fuselage. If you look here, you have the inner side. Right down there is a place where you can put more electronics, your batteries and such. Right there in that groove is where the carbon fiber rod that did not come with the kit. It's about a 1/4 inch, maybe a little bigger. I don't know exactly what that is in metrics. I'm sorry for those of you guys across the pond and other places. But that goes in there. I believe that is about 31 centimeters or 12.5 inches is the length of that carbon fiber rod. Great place to put some reinforcement, since this thing could take up to, I think, 20,000 milliamp batteries. In other words, total capacity. Again, that's 31 centimeters or 12.5 inches. Each side of this, on the inner side, you'll see me show this in just a second, is I'm going to put in some industrial strength Velcro, which is so much better than the regular Velcro that you can buy in the stores. Super, super strong. You'll see me show you here in a second. It is super strong. You put it together, and I don't care what you're doing. It doesn't come apart. Great for putting down batteries. You see me pulling really hard there. I'm going to cut a piece of this. Each side of that fuselage is about 4 centimeters on either side, or 1.5 inches deep. And I'm going to cut this down to be 4 centimeters or 1.5 inches deep. And then it has really great sticking stuff, backing on it. But I live in a really cold place here in Colorado, and that stuff tends to, in the cold, come detached. So I'm going to put mine on with contact cement. You'll see me here again. I'm measuring this, and I'm showing you this is about 4 centimeters or 1.5 inches deep. There's a close-up for you. There it is. So I'm going to cut down that the Velcro to fit inside there. So, having said that, alright, you see me lining the Velcro up here on my cutting mat. I'm going to make the cut and get it to be the right size. Trying to line it up, figure out how much I want to cut off. It's a 2-inch strip, and I'm going to cut off about a little more than 1/4 inch just to get it lined up in there. And I'm using at this point my utility knife, because it's pretty sticky stuff. That backing will ruin an X-Acto blade in one wipe. If you haven't discovered this stuff yet, it is really great for holding down the batteries. We use it for putting FPV cameras on the front of planes, like the keychain cam. I put that on with some contact cement on one side of the plane and the other side on the camera. And I've ran that into the ground and never had it fall off. Really, really strong stuff. So, anyways, just a heads up. So you see me do this, and it's about, I think, I want to say it's about 18 inches long is this piece that I cut. Maybe a little longer. But there it is. And I'm going to glue that in here in a moment. If you live in a warmer place, you probably can go ahead and leave it. If it's too hot, you probably want to use contact cement again, because it can be melted off if it's too hot. So there's 12 inches, and I think there's an extra 6. So like I said, it's about 18 inches. And I can't remember what that is in centimeters. 31, I think. I don't know. No, that's not right. 31 centimeters, not right. I'm going to do that twice. I'm just showing you what I'm in centimeters here. I can't remember. I thought I wrote it down, but I guess I didn't. If you want to zoom in, you can probably see the centimeters on this. Okay.
Like this. I put the hole inside.
And I'm just showing that that's actually where it's going to go and be glued. The reason for this, I put batteries in there, and I can only think of, you know, later on having something else. And I'm just saying that I'm going to do it the same on the other side. Got to replicate that. Alright, so I went ahead and did that. Now you see me putting down the contact cement. So I'm putting down some contact cement on the bottom of the fuselage. Again, this is because I live in a really cold place. If you live in a cold or hot place, I don't care to have that stuff come out. So I'll put it on with contact cement. I'm going to put it here on the fuselage first, then I'm going to put it on the back side of the Velcro. I'm going to wait till they dry, and then I'm going to put them together. And that won't come out. I mean, it just doesn't come out. It's really, really tight bond. Later on, that's what I'm going to use to put the fuselage together, is contact cement. The manufacturer sent some contact cement, but if you use that contact cement, be warned, it dries amazingly quick, and you won't get any of this done. I just went and bought a can of 3M contact cement, and that's what I used, because it's much more tolerant than the stuff that they sent, which was just super fast drying. I don't know what they put in it, but unbelievably fast drying. So here I'm doing the second half of the fuselage. Come on, my Velcro down. And again, you don't have to do this. This is simply so I can stick more electronic stuff in the back. I plan on putting an RG Pilot Mega, all sorts of different things in there. You know, just future use. I just, you know, while it's apart, might as well do it. That's what I was thinking, instead of having to try to figure out a way to get my hands in there and do something later. So I try to pre-plan. There it is. Now, wait for it to get really tacky. After you finish that, and then you come back, and I'm going to do the same thing on the back of the Velcro. I'm going to put the glue on the back of it, on both sides of the tape, in both ends. I know it seems like a pain, but trust me, later on, you'll thank me. Quite possibly, anyhow. If you don't get it stuck like I am right here. Maybe work on one at a time. I kept getting it stuck to my fingers. I was working on this. You don't want to do it too thick of a coat. It's just kind of a thin coat. See it sticking on my hands. Really, really, really sticky stuff, so... Shouldn't be doing this on my pants. I don't know what I'm thinking, but anyways, I failed to get proper stuff down ahead of time. All right, there you go. I've waited for it to get tacky at this point, probably about 10 minutes. Now I'm going to be very careful the way I put this down. I'm not going to just lay it anywhere. I'm going to put down one edge. You're going to see me swipe my hand from one end of it to the other. If you don't, you'll get bubbles in it. You want to make sure that you're putting it all down at not at once, but like one end and then smoothing, just like I did here. You don't want to get bubbles in it, because then it just doesn't do you any good. So I had a little bit of overlap, and I'm cutting that off. There you go. Now, there you go. You see both pieces, and we've got a great place to put everything. There you go. Now, we're not gluing this yet. The gluing will come on here in just a little bit. You notice here I'm sanding off the little bumps that are on the inside of the fuselage. There's bumps that will keep your edges from adhering. I'm hopefully going to show you here in a second. There's like one right there, Not the big one, the little ones. I'm trying to show you them. They're like right in there, little pieces. And it's another good idea is to scuff up the inside anyhow, so that when you put your glue on, it'll adhere. Now you don't, that one groove that's on the outside, you don't want to do, because that's going to go to the other side, and it'll actually help mate the two together. Just, you see me just running my block just very lightly. I think that's probably a 200 grit, maybe a 150 grit sand block. I'm going to do that on both sides. Let's see if I can find one of these things. I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but anyways, there you go. Run the sand block down. There you go. It's kind of scratches on it. Right. Nice and scratched up. Fun part. I'm using two different things here. I'm using this Gorilla Glue, showing the Gorilla Glue that I'm using, and I want to take this how it expands. Void. So first, I'm going to use this on the carbon fiber rod. First, you must sand carbon fiber rods. If you never built a plane before, sand them. Otherwise, the glue will not stick to them. So I'm just using that same pad, scuffing it up really good. I'm going to wipe it off, and I'm going to put it in there. And I'm sanding it so it can adhere to it really well. That's what you're seeing my hand motions there. So cleaned, wiped it off with my hand there. And I'm going to use contact cement. You see me holding the can there. I mentioned earlier, the stuff that comes with it dries too fast for this process. You will not get both hats together. It will dry too quick. I suggest picking up some contact cement. There's the Gorilla Glue that I'm using to put the carbon fiber rod in. Using an acid brush. First, put contact cement around one side of it. So here we go. Contact cement all the way around it. Skip the groove if you're planning on putting that carbon fiber in there. I wouldn't use that unless you have one that fits really tight. The one I had was a little undersized, so I used the Gorilla Glue to fill in that space. Is what I'm going to do here before the end. All right. All right, right about here, I was getting a phone call from my wife, so I decided to mute this and dub over it. Anyways, here we are. I'm actually continuing to put the contact cement around the fuselage, avoiding the spot where the carbon fiber rod that was not included. I'm avoiding that right there because I'm going to put some Gorilla Glue in there to hold that later, some white Gorilla Glue. Just continue going on around it. Hope the build's going well for you. Hope you're enjoying it. Here we go, back to it, and we're going to begin. Alright, the first place you see me put my brush here, don't put glue there. That's when you put the main part of the fuselage together, when you put the actual part where the pod and everything goes, the front part of your nose. When you put that on there, if you put it there, it's actually going to do, it won't fit very well. So it's going to be really, really tight. You'll have to probably sand that back out of there. I'm going to do it twice. I'm about to do it here when I pick it up. The first place you see me put my brush back again, not there, right about here, right there. That's where you do not put glue. I did mine, and mine got really tight. So both
Not
places,
in
your
there.
first times you see me put my brush, don't put it there.
Okay, here.
Okay, here we're going to repeat the same thing as we did on the other side. We're going to put contact together on this, contact cement on this side. We are going to avoid the spot where you have the spar again, the one that was not included in the kit. That is unless you choose to want to use that. I personally like to use Gorilla Glue in spaces where I know that needs filling. And that's what I did here because the Gorilla Glue will fill that void and make it solid. But you can do the same thing. Again, avoid that very tip of the spot nearest my chest there. Just the tip, not the whole front piece where you notice it going together. If you have any doubts about this, dry fit this before you put it together to see where the glue should and should not go if you don't understand what I'm talking about. Here in the picture you can see a real good picture of that Velcro that I put on. And when those halves come together, you've got a really great spot for putting any electronics or anything else you want on the bottom. And again, that industrial Velcro is killer. You will really like it if you have it in your country. I don't know if you do or not, or if it's just like everybody else just has the regular Velcro. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. I'm about to start putting glue where the wing brackets go on the white wing brackets that go up underneath here. You need to put the glue here, and you want to put it on all 4 spots, 2 on each side. If you don't, you're not going to be able to put those brackets in very well without doing it. So make sure you pay attention here. You're going to do it on each side. Right when little notches. You see them in the top half of the fuselage. I'm going to put them up there. All right, in just a moment, you're going to see the white wing brackets come into the picture. Make sure you take your CA glue, put the nuts in there, and glue them in ahead of time. Otherwise, you can do like I do and have to do it afterwards. Right here, you're going to see me turn them over. They have the cups on the back side. Not there, right there. Put the glue, put the nuts in there, and let them sit. And then come back and sand right here. And then as you sand, when you're done, you're going to want to put CA glue, the cement glue, your rubber cement. You're going to want to put those just on the outer edges for the outer 1.5 inch, maybe 3 to 4 centimeters. If you don't, it's nothing big if you put it all over it like I did, but otherwise you're going to see it. It's going to be a little bit of an aesthetics issue. You're going to kind of see the glue right where your wing brackets go. It'll look kind of funky. It's not going to hurt anything, but hey, learn from my mistakes. Don't put it all over right there. Just on the outer edges. Just again on the outer like 4 centimeter to 1.5 inches, and you'll be good. Mine, you can see the yellow glue. And, anyways, my bad. You learn from my lessons. There you go. You see, I put it all over it. All right. Now, putting the glue away here. The rubber cement, the contact cement. The next thing you're going to see me do is I'm going to put in some Gorilla Glue in that groove where the spar that didn't come with the plane. You're going to see me put the toothpicks first. Toothpicks are for spacing, so you can get proper alignment before you put this together. If you try to put this together without the toothpicks and you mess up, you're going to mess up really bad because you're not going to be able to realign it. You're going to rip it apart, rip the phone apart. You have to cut it apart. It'll look bad. I would put the toothpicks exactly where I put them if you have them. Exactly like that. And in just a moment you'll see me put the Gorilla Glue in. I'm going to mix the Gorilla Glue with some water and put it in there.
Yes, last thing.
Right there, if you see me pointing to where I'm putting it. Gorilla Glue, by the way, does take water to activate it to make it foam. If you just put it together, it'll take a long time to dry. This is fast drying white Gorilla Glue. If you don't know about this, this is perfect stuff, by the way, for repairing EPO planes. If you've got a dent or anything in your plane, you can put it in there, put some tape over it, it'll fill that void really great. You can also form it and shape it, so I've done some pretty great things with this stuff. It's white Gorilla Glue. Don't know who it's made by, but it's really fantastic. When I'm done here, you're going to see me. I'm going to align everything and get everything put together. It will look much better once it's put together. Sorry for the rambling. I'm trying to fill space as I'm watching this being built and trying to narrate it at the same time. You're going to see me in a moment. I'm going to run out of Gorilla Glue. I'm going to have to put some more in there. The main reason for Gorilla Glue versus contact cement is I just like it. It fills voids. And the rod that I had probably still had, a 1/16 of an inch around it. And I felt more comfortable if I knew it was secure in there. And I know Gorilla Glue will do that job. It'll actually form around it. So, here we go. Just about done, and then I'll put the rod in there and I'll put the two halves together. You notice I'm not getting it outside that groove, because if you get it outside that groove, it will leak. Oh, there you go on that side. Good job, David. Hey. There it goes. All right. Trying to get these lined up the best I can. See me kind of getting eye level with it, looking at it. Highly advise that. Do what you want, but you want to make sure that the bumps and everything are aligned and all the seams are aligned before you pull toothpicks. There you go. Once you pull this together, they're not coming apart again. That's contact cement that I used. And contact cement, once it's dry and they go together, forget about it. And one more. Two more. There we go. There you go. Nice and solid. I'm just pushing it together. I don't need to do anything more than that. It's contact cement. You'll see in a moment that I left a toothpick in. I got to pull that out.
Nice. Oh, one piece. Now, these pieces.
All right. Here I'm going to put the brackets in. I suggest that you put, if you will,
go all the way up.
Put it in and leave one end up where the contact cement goes, and then pull the other end up. The shelving kind of gets in the way, so you kind of got to put it in at an angle and kind of twist it to the side, like in your hand. You kind of put them both in there and then twist and then pull up. It took me a few seconds here to figure it out, but you know, my learning is easier for you. So if you see that it won't go up, that's because there's a shelf. So I need to get above that shelf. That was the shelf that I left in there that I wanted to put stuff on top of. So I'm having to kind of jiggle it back and forth. There we go, pulled that out. And I'm going to snap it up there, and there you go. Nice up, and it's in that groove. Make sure you line those holes up with the grooves that are there, if you see right on my hand, because if not, your wings are not going to fit correctly. Very important. Let's see me do it here to the second one. Contact cement's basically dry, so I don't really have to worry about, you know, just waiting for it to pop up and get it in there. If you notice how tight that is. You could probably do this before you put your halves together, but you know, you're still going to have one half. So figure it out however you want to do it. It all depends. You got one lined up. Get ready to pop it up in there, and there you go. The last bit is a push. There you go. And I'm pulling them up to make sure they're fully seated. By the way, you're not going to break this this foam. It's really, really sturdy. There you go. And you see the, if you saw at the bottom, you could see the Gorilla Glue, or the Gorilla Glue already foaming up. You'll see it on my shirt in a second. I'm going to catch it on my shirt as well. All right. Next we need to cut a door exactly like the one you see in my hand. You have two options here. You can cut above or below that line. I chose below it because I wanted to put a shelf above it. If I put the shelf above that cut spot, it wouldn't have a place really to rest. So I went ahead and made my cut below it. If you notice here, I'm making really deep cuts. This is, I think, a number 2 blade, not a number 11. It's the larger of the two. You really have to make them long and deep. You'll see me go over this several times because you have to get through the shelf that's on the other side. You could do this, by the way, before you put the halves together or after. Doesn't matter either way. Just depends on how you want to cut those sides. You may even get a straighter cut if you do it not in your lap. Probably safer too, so you don't cut your fingers or something. I didn't, but anyways. So I'm going over it again, trying to cut through it. So, anyways, make sure your blades are sharp when you do this. Otherwise, it will mess up the cut and mess up the foam on the inside. And you never want to see that. Yeah, there's the Gorilla Glue oozing out of my shirt. Wonderful. Just ruined a nice shirt. Anyways, here I go. I'm going to make my cut. Like I said, it's about 1 centimeter or maybe 1/4 inch below that. The best way to do is stick your blade in, check, and make sure you're not in the middle of one of those brackets. You sure don't want to saw apart one of those places where the brackets go. That's it. Go back and look over your blade again, and that's it. All done. We'll come back here in a little bit and I'll give you the motor mount. Motor mount was something pretty important. By the way, I'm going to take that, I'm going to put it on with neodymium magnets. If you're going to hinge it however you're going to do it. Probably slice the bottom of the edge off at an angle if you want to open and close it all the time. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Wait for the next part.